Hello everyone! Recently, a new special episode of Skibidi Toilet's Multiverse had been released, in which some really anticipated questions were answered that may have come up after the last few episodes. But it also had raised some new questions that I will try to answer in today's video. So now I'm going to give you a full analysis of this special episode, as well as develop some interesting theories about what might be in store for us in the future episodes. When will we finally see a new race? When will Titan CLOCKMAN be fixed? And who is the mysterious CLOCKMAN? Get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end because this is going to be very interesting. Let's go! The events of this special episode are taking place right around the time of episode 21, when the main CLOCKMAN arrives to pick up the agents. And it is at this point that the agent on the Time Spider from episode 15 arrives and stops time for everyone involved in the scene. Except for one character, whose name is Alarm CLOCKMAN, after which he begins his extremely long monologue about what will have to happen in the future. First of all, he says that he is extremely pleased to finally see someone coming from his own kin. And based on this statement and what he will tell you a bit later in the episode, I can assume that in his timeline either no CLOCKMAN survived at all, or there are very few of them who got left. And besides that, you can also say that I was right when I said that this guy still seems to know how to travel through time. And by the way, it still doesn't contradict the fact that these two can probably be the same character. But we shouldn't fixate on this particular thought right now though, so let's talk about some other really interesting things that came with this episode first. So, then he begins to talk about how he is actually his best and largest friend from the future. Whatever that means though. And also about the thing how this is not his first time when he had done such a thing actually. And that the leader of Skibidi Toilets is not a toilet himself. But I have already told you about this earlier. At the moment, the Alpha seems to be the leader of all toilets, but not all Skibidi are seemingly happy about such a thing, and some of them are plotting the actual betrayal of the Alpha, which may be signaled by the message in the documents from the 26th episode, which I talked about in my previous analyses. He continues to talk about what we will see in the latest episode, namely the attack on the CLOCKMAN's base, and about the fact that all the Alliance agents will begin to evacuate from there, with the exception of Chief CLOCKMAN, because he intends to defeat the Alpha, and he will even manage to do it, which I am not really surprised about. But the device in her hand, the purpose of which I wondered about in the last analysis, turned out to be the device designed for teleportation, using which she moves in space, and thanks to him she will escape immediately after the Chief wins. In general, this guy reminds me of Dr. Strange a lot, who calculated 140000625 options for the future, only he did not calculate these moments, but lived them directly, constantly going back in time, trying to prevent this moment. And all these attempts were unsuccessful, neither with Clockwoman nor with CLOCKMAN the Bouncer. All these times he almost died, and only by the sacrifice of all his friends, he managed to survive. Well, on the third attempt, he was somehow bothered by the clock dressed in a white shirt, as well as some kind of talking toilet. And here, I can only guess who he's talking about, though. He probably means the Elite CLOCKMAN and myself, the ISO Toilet, because as you may have guessed, it is not in our interests for the Alliance to win completely. But in the end, he says that this is the guy who's going to take out the head CLOCKMAN. And I was damn right about the Alarm CLOCKMAN not being afraid of the Alpha at all. But in fact, he's afraid of what's to come, and that's what it ends up being. And in order for the Alpha to forget about the CLOCKMAN for a while, he has to do this, so that the Alliance can finally rebuild Titan GigaChad, because apparently, he is the only one who can stop the destructive march of this colossal Titan Drillman. The other Titans simply can't stand up to him, as this mysterious CLOCKMAN informs us, and they must go to any lengths to restore the Titan CLOCKMAN, even sacrificing the Chief. And the only thing he can do it with is this watch on his arm, and I've already speculated before how it's a really unusual device in its nature, but in the analysis of episode 27, I assumed that the mind of the main CLOCKMAN could have been placed inside of it, but it turns out that this thing actually blocks the abilities of the CLOCKMAN around him. And the main CLOCKMAN can actually see into the future for a few seconds forward to it. What an unimaginable coincidence, isn't it, guys? Apparently, every time he touches this thing, the other CLOCKMAN lose the ability to use their own powers. But I don't understand why the Alliance needs this device, though. And besides that, I also don't understand why the main CLOCKMAN didn't see this guy coming near this helicopter. Because now there's nothing particularly stopping him from doing such a thing. Because the Alarm CLOCKMAN didn't touch his watch at all. So I assume that he is not able to foresee the stoppage of time, which happened in this case. And what do you think about all of this, my friends? So, having heard all of this, the alarm clockman naturally expresses his indignation and dissatisfaction with everything that was happening before his eyes. But even in this case, the large clockman seemed to foresee everything that was meant to come. So he agrees that he can't ask for anything more, so he will simply make him do the main job. He shoots him with time magic right from his hand, as if he was casting a spell on him or something like that, and tells him that he will do everything at the right time and place, referring to that very moment from the 27th episode when the alarm clockman supposedly betrayed his boss. And he says that very phrase that was encrypted in the message in the Dom Studios official Discord channel, and it was saying, "Block the clocks." And now it's getting pretty clear what it had been meaning, actually. Well, it seems that I was pretty close in my assumption from the previous analysis of the last episode on my channel that this clockman had sacrificed his boss far from willingly, as it turned out, that this was done by this large friend of ours, who had taken control of his mind at that very moment. And to be honest, I am amazed by his great strength, despite the fact that he said that he was almost defeated, because what he does really seems to be very impressive to me. And now, I would like to talk to you about what we can possibly expect in the next episode, when Titan Clockman will appear, and what race we will see in the next episode to come. Let's start with Titan Clockman first, because based on what this large clockman had said, it seems to me that we should see him pretty much soon. But it definitely won't be in the next episode, because the clockman probably didn't collect all the devices to fix him yet. The places where those devices are being hidden could be seen on the tablet in the last episode. And I'm really looking forward to the return of this metal Gigachad, because we haven't seen him in good health in over 20 episodes, and I can't even imagine how cool he must be after such a long period of repair time. And in the 28th episode, it seems to be possible for me that we will probably see how the clockman will continue to fly to the places where these things are being hidden, and that maybe they will show us how they will be about to use them in order to bring back the Titan Clockman. But I'm not really sure about that, so keep that in mind. And finally, maybe as a result of all this search, or as a result of some other events happening in parallel to this search, they will possibly meet with some representatives of a whole new race. And this time, it's 100% confirmed information, because it was told by Dom Studio themselves. And I bet everything on the fact that it will be Pencilman, because I have already said so many times that we were left different hints about the appearance of this race before. For instance, let's remember the multiple pencils in episode 17, the pencil on a chain in episode 18, and the device that the cameraman Spy uses is a pen whose ink makes him invisible. There were too many common coincidences at this point, and that's why it has to be Pencilman and nobody else. And that was all for today. Write your own theories and opinions about what's going to happen in the next episode in the comments below, because I always love reading your comments. And be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss the analysis of the new 28th episode. And that was me, ISO Toilet. See ya!